Picking up books from a very big fancy house. It's got a winding driveway. I'm obviously not showing the address, but nonetheless, I thought I would share it with you because it's pretty nice, pretty cool. You pick up books from all over the place. Sometimes apartments, sometimes businesses, sometimes tiny little houses, sometimes big houses like this. Guys, it's Andrew from 510 Books. It is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. As you can see, I'm in my store, and it is, I just had lunch, so it's a little after 12. And I want to share with you some stuff I sold in the last 24 hours on eBay. One on Amazon, the rest on eBay. It's been a good 24 hours, and there's some really interesting stuff. You can see it here laid out. I have a book lot, I have a record, CD, video game, CD, book, and that book is the one that was sold on Amazon. Let me share with you this book lot sale. This is actually a bunch of books that came from a recent donation, and you're probably familiar with them. You probably see them all the time. It is Those Left Behind, the series from Tim LaHaye and Jerry Jenkins. I think there's 16 or 17 books in the total, in the complete series. This person actually donated the first 13 books. Most of them are hardcovers. There's one or two that are paperback, but it's the first 13 in order. So it's not the complete series. However, because I have such a big chunk of them and it's the first 13, someone can buy it, read the first 13, and then, search for the other ones. But it's more appealing to somebody who's looking to own the set to read it. So I took an offer. By the way, this sold for me, let's see, it's Wednesday. When did I list this? I think I listed this maybe last week, so less than a week. And I took an offer of $38 plus shipping. So it was a good turnaround. Again, if it was like the first 5 and then maybe the 10th and then maybe a couple others, not so much. But because they're in order and it's the bulk of them and it's only missing like 3 or 4 other books for the complete series, it's a good indicator that you should probably sell it, but always research and make sure that the set is selling. This is the one book that sold on Amazon, Applied Social Psychology. It is a textbook, second edition. I try to steer clear of most textbooks on Amazon. However, some of them that I am allowed to sell that don't make sense to sell on eBay, I will sell them on Amazon. This one sold for $23 and change. And this came from that July pickup from the local college here nearby where my store is. It's the second time that I picked up from them. Last summer, 2024, and then this summer in 2025, I did a pretty big book pickup. So the reason why I'm getting any Amazon sales is because I'm going in there and repricing some books, not my entire inventory, but I'll reprice multiple books, and it seems to be helping to increase Amazon sales, which is great. I don't have that many. I have over 400 items on Amazon, but they're not all the best items. I'm only adding ones that I really feel, based on the research, are actually going to sell, and then I'm going to sell for decent money, and also something that I can't sell or doesn't make sense to sell in my store or on eBay. Now, these items aren't spectacular in the sense of what they sold for, but sales are sales. Sales come in, and I'm always happy about it. Yesterday I listed a bunch of quality items. Most of them were anyway. But I know that some stuff I think I'm going to get more for, like $29.99. This one ended up selling for $15 plus shipping, but I'm still happy with it. Very tiny CD that's sealed. Dubbed Collections. Fortunate Youth, it's called. Again, it sold for $15 plus shipping. And this came from, I actually bought this back in June. So this is 2 years ago, of 2023, at a thrift store, when I was going to a thrift store multiple times a week because of taking my daughter to gymnastics. So that was a decent sale. This is called, I don't know, Tafel Music Baroque Orchestra. Anyway, it's classical, I believe. It's a digipack. If you don't know what a digipack is, you open it up and it's got the tray inside for the disc. And this one sold for $11. and this one came from a bunch of 10 total boxes of CDs that were donated to me that were really high quality in terms of the condition they were in and the uniqueness, jazz, sound, international soundtracks, and classical music. And I'm still, you know, almost every week I sell at least one. So there was a lot of them that I listed. And then this one is The Sims 3, so a video game into the future. I listed a bunch of these on eBay, not for much money, but a sale's a sale, and I didn't want to toss it. And it didn't really make sense to put it in my store, and people are buying them. So for all those reasons, it sold for $5.99 plus shipping. And I ended up making like $6 off of it because the shipping was so discounted. But anyway, that's a side note. And this was from my most recent bulk pickup of Blu-rays and video games. So I did find, and I am selling some video games on eBay in that lot. So I have I'm tomorrow, Thursday. Well, when you see this video, it'll be in the future, but tomorrow, Thursday, the 18th, I'm going to be picking up more video games from the same person. So, and I haven't gone to the Blu-rays yet. I'm excited about that, but that's coming up. And then I sold this Garnet Silk, Give a Strength. And that sold, this was actually from, again, funny enough, so this sold for $19.99 plus shipping. I found this in the same exact thrift store where I sold that sealed CD on the same day in June 2023, and they sold on the same day. Weird, right? And yeah, it was a nice $20 sale. I'm happy with it. I know it took a couple years to sell, but hey, a sale's a sale. It's a nice profit sale. I probably spent on these CDs, I think I spent more than $1, maybe actually less at that thrift store for sure. And I also sold this very rare album, it turns out, by Ralfi. Well, it's Pagan, but Pagan, however you want to pronounce it. And he was a popular singer from the U.S., but he's Puerto Rican, and he did a lot of like Latin soul type music in the 60s and 70s. And as you can see here, he was born in 1947, and then on November 1978, at 31 years old, he was actually killed while on tour in Colombia. And apparently it's a mystery as to what happened. So that makes this particular album pretty special, because he obviously did not put out a ton of music, and he died at such a young age. But it turns out that this particular album, in this version here, where it says, Ralphie wants Baby to join his fan club, and it's from Fania Records, or Fania, makes it a little bit more valuable. And there was only, I think, 1 or 2 other copies on eBay. And this condition, hold on. Wow. And so the condition, you can see here, it's got like some splitting. You can't really see with the, but anyway, it's splitting there. It's splitting here on the sleeve. But other than that, you know, it's got some wear here. It's in pretty good shape. The record's in good shape. And I was asking 100 and by the way, it has the original insert here for the record, which makes it more valuable as well. I was asking $130 for it, but within a day or two of listing it on eBay, I got a really low offer of, I think it was $40, which was ridiculous. And I countered with a much higher offer, and then they countered with only $50, so I declined it. And then either that same day or the next day, very soon after, I got an offer, off of $129.99, $130, and an offer of $115. And knowing the condition of the sleeve and that kind of thing, I accepted it, because I didn't mention that this was a donation. A guy came into the store here with 3 bags of records, and it was like, I don't want anything for them. You can have them if you want them. and he's like, I just want the bags. And then he starts saying that, oh, it's kind of weird stuff, weird music or whatever, and which sounds great. That's music to my ears, right? Because the weirder, the stranger, the more bizarre, the more niche, the better for reselling purposes. And also, if it's going to go in my store, that's also a good thing. And it turned out that this is one of the records that was in there, and it sold for $115 plus shipping. So it's amazing what people will just give away. And also, somebody's treasure is somebody's trash. So, you know, hopefully you're on the treasure side of that. You never know what someone's just going to drop off. That's why I tell you guys over and over again to let people know what you do, because who knows what's going to happen, right? You can pick up stuff for free, and you can find something like this, or like that book I mentioned in my video yesterday, which is worth hundreds of dollars because it's a first edition rare dust jacket, that type of stuff. Open your mouth, network, let people know what you do, pass out cards, post on all the different social media apps, whatever. Create a place people can go. It could be a Facebook page, it could be an Instagram page, it could be a TikTok page, it could be your own website, whatever it is. And you'd be surprised the amount of people, oh yeah, can you come pick up my stuff, right? And are you going to find something like that, or like those books I was talking about? Not all the time, but you should still find really good stuff. And it's just another way to get inventory outside of going to the thrift store, going to garage sales, going to estate sales, going to library book sales, going to swap meet and flea markets, all of that other stuff, which is great also, but just keep that in mind. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, comment below. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.